Good afternoon, members, and welcome to this meeting of the Pensions Committee. As members are aware, the public element of today's meeting is being live streamed, and those members participating in the meeting have given consent to their inclusion. The live stream will be retained upon the City Corporation's YouTube channel for up to 1 civic year. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Town Clerk, and good afternoon. And welcome to today's meeting. Graham is attending virtually because I don't mind, at least I hope he doesn't mind you saying, me saying, but he has chicken pox, so it's better that he's on the screen rather than in the room. Shingles. So we moved to, and welcome to our friends from Mercer. We move to apologies, Town Clerk.
Thank you, Chairman. We received apologies for absence from Tim McNally, who may arrive late.
Thank you very much. Item 2.
Members' declarations. Any members have any declarations under the Code of Conduct?
No. Item 3.
Item 3A is to agree the public minutes and non-public summary of the Pensions Committee meeting on the 7th of July.
Members, are there any comments on the minutes? Members content to agree the minutes of our last meeting? Thank you very much. The local government pension board minutes are to receive.
And that you want to note to the committee that Peter Lisley was elected as chair of the local government pension boards, and Mark Wheatley is the deputy chair of their last meeting.
Can I congratulate Peter and Mark? Members happy to receive those. Thank you. We might now move on to the work programme. That's before you. Are there any comments? Comments on the work programme? Then we that's also to receive. We have the risk register, item 5. That's to agree. Amanda.
Did you want to raise about the insufficient assets risk?
Yes, I did. So the one point that I have on page 24, under the risk register, I have insufficient assets pension fund, current risk or 8. My view is that that is too high, and I've would ask the officers to review that. Are there any other comments on the risk register? Chris.
Thank you, Chairman. My apologies. Are you suggesting that the value is wrong or the target is too high?
No, I think the target's too high. I think 8. It's the same level as cyber security. We know that the actuary has it's on its 3-year actuarial valuation, and so it's pretty unlikely that that there won't be enough funds. So 8 seems a little high, is what I think. I think it should probably be a 7 or a 6, but I'm no expert on these.
Well, I don't see how it could be, because I don't think that we could change the impact. It's only the likelihood we could change, which would bring it down from an 8 to a 4, I assume, if I've got my numbers right. So it's the likelihood you're trying to reduce.
Yes, I think that's right. Any other comments on the risk register? Move on. So that's to agree. Members content to agree. Thank you very much. Item 6, the pension scheme administrators update. Graham, it's for you from your sickbed to rise to address the committee.
I'll rise to the occasion. So this is a standing agenda item that covers the activities of the pensions administration team since the last committee meeting and includes 2 non-public appendices. Members are asked to note the section in respect of information as scheme record keeping, which is on page 59. We've received advance warning from the pensions regulator that we'll receive the formal request to complete the 2025 scheme return in October, and that will include providing our data scores.
Members, any questions?
No.
Claire.
I do have a couple of questions, if I may, on the admin report. I
Yes,
imagine these will be questions that officers might want to come back on rather than taking up time today. The first thing is to note that officers have been having difficulty getting a response out of Aptia for a GMPE update that we requested last time. So if officers are having difficulty, I'm very happy to help with that. We have some connections, and I know they're not part of Mercer anymore, but I'm sure there are connections as well if you're having trouble getting a response. Secondly, dashboards, obviously a major project with a huge amount of work going on behind the scenes. And as a committee, we're not very close to the detail on this. I think depending where the responsibility lies, and I imagine some of it does lie with us as the committee looking at this, I think it would be useful to have a little bit of information on the matching criteria that's being used. There is a requirement, I believe, to do a data protection, DPIA, data protection impact analysis, and I'm assuming a lot of that is going to fall to officers, but what's happening on that? How are we overseeing that? And thirdly, on the practicalities, our members have got a kind of combo of final salary benefits and care benefits, and the dashboard system is very restrictive in terms of what you can show. And I was wondering if we could have a little more detail on what we are showing. Are we showing final salary and care benefits as two separate entries, or are we blending them? And if so, there might be some kind of follow up in terms of what we do in terms of members' benefit statements to try and make sure numbers are consistent, but also kind of explain things more, because you're very limited on what you can actually put on the dashboard. Sorry, lots of words, Chairman, but that's it.
Thank you very much, Claire. Graham, do you want to respond to that?
Question one, with regards to the GMP reconciliation, I have had a bit more contact with Aptia in the last couple of weeks, but I may well take you up on your offer if I struggle to get the information, if that's okay. With regards to the matching criteria for the pensions dashboard, we are in the process of devising that at the moment. Our initial plan is to make it as potentially as strict as we think we can do, with the view to then maybe that could be relaxed a little bit as the testing goes on, while in the lead up from us going live this October to it being made released to the public next year. There is a DPIA being written at the moment to go alongside this, so we can bring that to the next board committee meeting, and with regards to the more detail of what we're showing, again, because the dashboard will be live by the next meeting, I'll be quite happy to bring along a bit more detail as to go into what we're actually be showing on the dashboard itself.
Claire, do you want to come back?
Sounds good, basically. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Graham. Are there any other questions on this item? Members content to receive. Thank you. Item 7, the Pension Administration guidance on transfers out. Graham, your turn again.
So this was in respect to the Barnet-Waddingham review of the city's practices in respect of the Pension Regulators General Code of Compliance. We were asked to provide a formal document that sets out the procedures and precautions that we take with regards to transferring out of the pension scheme and the potential scams and avoiding the potential scams. So it's for decision by committee members.
Claire.
Sorry, Chairman, very quickly, it talks about if there are red or amber flags, that officers would pause. Who makes the decision as to whether or not to proceed with red or amber flags? Would it come to this committee if we ended up in that situation, or would it be something for the Chamberlain or Kate as Treasurer? Just trying to understand the.
Graham.
In the first instance, we would try and make that decision internally via Kate as well as the corporate treasurer as a bit of oversight outside of the team, and then it would be escalated as deemed necessary, dependent upon what we we feel about each individual case. None of that hasn't really been tested in practice because most of the transfers we have come from large reputable schemes, so you don't necessarily come across that very often, but certainly we would escalate it as we see fit on each individual case.
So is it worth under 3.2, the third bullet point, just kind of expanding slightly to explain that escalation process? That's all.
Certainly.
Thank you.
So if you're happy, we'll just expand that and publish it, but bring back a note to the next committee.
We put a note in the minutes.
So you
We
put
do
a note in
that?
the, put a note in the minutes and we can pick it up and
Very
update you.
Members content to agree the recommendation? Thank you. We now move to the City Fund and Pension Fund Statement of Accounts update. This report was originally seen by the Audit and Risk Management in July, but due to the scheduling of meetings is only coming to the Pension Committee now. The full statement of accounts, audit findings and audit report are at item 9. So we're asked to note those. So unless there are any issues, any questions, Chris?
I just thought, Chairman, on reading this, and it didn't surprise me. I was actually looking for it and almost expecting it. When I saw that of the just £400.2 million increase in net assets of the City Fund balance sheet, that more than half of that was accounted for by the reduction of the pensions liability. And it just goes to show how the adjustments which are made as a result of the actuarial valuations can have a massive impact. I'd actually say a disproportionate impact on the balance sheet of the organisation as a whole.
Sorry, can I just correct that? So that in the accounts, that is not the actuarial valuation, that is an accounting treatment we have to do on pensions across everybody. So it's what the actuarial valuation is irrelevant. In the accounts, there is, I forgot, is it FRS 17 every authority has to have, which is something that is done on a standard government basis. It doesn't, don't I say, actually doesn't really mean anything, because it's to standardise everything, I think, Claire.
I mean, I think it, just to sort of add to that, it tends to be best estimate assumptions, but the crucial difference is your discount rate for discounting the liabilities assumes you invest 100% in AA corporate bonds, which is not what we do. And our valuation allows for our proper investment strategy. This is a bit of an artificial, if you like, accounting number.
Oh, I'm grateful, Chairman, for the elucidation there. It still does show the point, however, the pension valuation, in whatever form it may be, has such a significant effect on the organisation as a whole and its balance sheet.
Thank you. Are there any other questions on 8? And that is receive. Thank you very much. We now move on to 9, which is the City Fund and Pension Fund Statement of Accounts, audit findings. Kate, and this is for decision.
Yes, thank you, Chair. So this report has been to the Audit and Risk Committee and Finance Committee, have been granted delegation to sign the accounts, hopefully by this Friday, so within the 30th of September, which is the statutory deadline. The auditors were very complimentary about how the pension fund audit went, and in fact the chair of Audit and Risk and Finance Committee congratulated all the teams, so not only pension fund but City Fund, on how well this has gone. There are very few findings or negative findings around the pension fund. One thing that did come out was that we haven't had an internal audit for about 7 years. So that is going to be progressed around administration over the next 12 months or so. I'm happy to take any questions, Chair.
Members, any questions? I just want to make one comment. I want to congratulate the officers on putting together this very complicated document. There's been a history in local government over the last few years of delays in producing accounts. I think our officers have done a sterling job to put it together, and even more so to be complimented by not having a large number of recommendations from the auditors. So I'd like to minute the committee's appreciation for the work that has been undertaken. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you.
Are there any questions? No questions. That item is to agree.
Agree.
Thank you very much. We then move on then to item 10, questions on matters relating to the work of committee. I've not received any. Any other business? I've not received any of that. So we now move on to the exclusion of the public. That is for decision. Are members content to agree that? Thank you very much.
Thank you, members. Just bear with me while I confirm that the live stream has ended.